I also pass somehow.
You're the big dog in life.
Another big dogs,
Yeah, I mean,
like I'm on that history.
I've been this is sort of Welcome, grads and graduates, to the Under the Radar, where we take a look at the most skillful and inspiring young youths that's left unheard, or what we like to call diamonds in the rough.
we're your hosts, Kayyisa and Kira, and today we're joined by Alif Ramadandika, young entrepreneur and a youth who dreams big. Isn't that right? We saw your Instagram bio, by the way.
Pleasure to have me here, Kaisa and Kira.
Yeah, pleasure
Hi.
indeed, Alif. Can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, hello. My name is Alif Ramadandika Risnander. I am Shakira Big Bro, and you can call me Alif. As from now, I'm studying business in Universitas Prasetya Mulia. Aside from my studies, I've done several activities in this year. I serve as coordinator of social environment in student board, and I also serve as chairman of Social Week. It is a social organization in my campus. It will be a quite a long story to tell, but it was really fun.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
totally.
Other than that, I also participate in several committees and voluntary work. I took part at Jakarta UMKM Expo as business development lead, and the one that taking me the longest would be the Y20 Indonesia 2022.
Y20. That's
Yeah.
like a big deal, isn't it?
Sounds familiar.
I saw like
doesn't it?
banners at the on the side of the road, like Y20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like something.
I'm
really
serving
important.
as a program and event officer, handling the high level conference of Y20. It will be very interesting to talk about the Y20 experience.
I bet it will be.
Totally.
So, about this Y20 thing, have you ever heard of the G20 event that's been going on and on around the internet? So is it related? Why is Y20 and G20 related to each other?
Yeah, even if you scroll your FYP in TikTok, there's a lot of
Yeah,
G20
totally.
content.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
It's like in every social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
So this might confuse by some people. What is G20 and what is Y20? Is it related or is it a typo?
Yeah, exactly.
Might be.
So G20 stands for Group of 20. It is an informal group of 19 countries plus European Union.
Oh.
This country represents 60% of the world population and 85% of the world economy.
That's a big number.
Yeah. So and
Yeah.
so Indonesia's like part of the big boys.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. These are all the big countries like United States, China, France, Germany, India, Italy, Japan, even Russia, and you name it. Lah. This is a big country.
Yeah, like every single big country.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a serious event.
And for the first time since G20 was formed in 1999, Indonesia got to hold the presidency this year.
Ooh.
And the summit was in Bali, if you know, it's all over the news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this event was attended by the head of states, prime minister, and presidents of the G20 countries, like Joe Biden from United States, Xi Jinping from China, even Rishi Sunak,
Oh, the new prime
the
minister.
new prime minister. Oh, okay.
Like imagine like every single big world leaders coming to one spot, and that's in Bali, Indonesia. Like in the same country as we are right now.
Yeah,
that's really
that's
cool.
something-
And they are wearing a batiks.
Oh, they were wearing batiks too. Like
It was
embracing.
it was
Yeah.
really cool.
Mm.
So what the question is, what is the difference between Y20 and G20? Right? So Y20 is youth. Okay, so the G20 have that is called by engagement group.
Mhm.
Engagement group is representative of respective interests.
Oh.
So beside the Y20, there's also B20 business.
Mm.
If you know, President Joko met the Elon Musk.
Mhm.
It is the task force of the B20, and there's also like Woman 20,
Woman 20.
women.
W20, yeah, which take up the issue that women around the world, and there's also like Thing 20. It is like researcher around the world to think.
Oh,
Oh,
think.
Yeah,
cool.
think.
Think
Yeah.
20. Okay.
And there are a total like a 10 engagement group. I don't remember all of them.
Well, that's a lot of issues to talk
So
Yeah.
just
about.
like imagine like every single part of the alphabet and add 20 to it. It's
Yeah.
like it covers every single part of like science, social. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of problems to talk
Yeah.
about.
So and then like as we know like Y20 is like such a big event, you know. We were just wondering how you could like get to participate in the program as an event officer.
Yeah,
Okay.
because being an event officer sounds like something like it's a big deal to be a
Very
event
big deal.
officer. So we're wondering, how did you get to the point of
Yeah.
being an event officer?
Okay. In the past, I attend a conference. It is called like CSIS Global Dialogue. CSIS is Center for Strategic and International Studies. So in that conference, there is I joined with the Youth Dialogue, CSIS Youth
Mm.
Dialogue. So from that, I learned that if there's is a global, there's is youth. There's a
yeah,
youth
yeah.
conference,
Yeah.
and turns out in the G20 itself, it has the youth.
There's a youth
yeah,
one, yeah, of course. Because there's a global, there's a youth.
Yes,
Yeah.
and after I researched about it online, I found I scroll my Instagram and I found out that they are accepting a position for officers.
Oh.
At first, I was really insecure and anxious of drafting because I had no basics in international relation, but I still sign up
Mm.
because I had nothing to lose, right?
Yeah,
So
that-
just register myself.
Yeah, that's a really good mentality to have.
You know, I was surprised when I had passed. So in the initial stage, of you have full your administration. You need to submit your CV and your motivation letter, just like any companies. And after you pass that, you get to be interviewed, which I also passed somehow.
That's really
Like I found it really inspiring to found like there's like a huge position. Maybe like we want to go into a competition or a job, but
Mhm.
we're like anxious that oh no, I can't do it. But in reality, if we just shoot our shots, there could be like a chance that we can get accepted. Just like they say, you lose every shot you don't take. Is that
Yeah, exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. It's just really
You know what? The interesting part is, apart from not having the basic of international relation, why I'm anxious or insecure because I'm not really confident with my English. Because my English wasn't that good, yeah, but I think not that bad too.
Yeah, but you passed the interview.
yeah,
it's
that's
really
good.
interview.
yeah, that's it.
Really good. Mm.
That's why I was really scared when I was interviewed, but I'm really glad that I made it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Things like that tends to happen, because like at one point you feel like you won't be able to do something, but then you did it, and then turns out you just passed.
Yeah. You wouldn't know what happened in life.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what happened in
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
So, seeing that Y20 is an international event and it's being placed all throughout Indonesia,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So, did you get to visit different locations throughout the journey of being the
Yeah.
the
no,
officer of it?
Yeah, because like as you said, it took place in Bali, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So before that, we must know. So Y20 have four main issues that we call in what we call it priority areas. The first one is youth employment, digital transformation, sustainable and livable planet, and diversity and inclusion. So for the inclusion itself, the issue that we brings up, we want to prove it directly. So Y20 is not only in Jakarta, and only for certain people, but we want to reach youth outside Jakarta,
Mm.
even outside Java Island. We want young Indonesian to be involved in making foreign policy. So the youth of Sumatra to Papua are the part of the voice that we represent.
That's such
Yeah.
a big thing.
And I went to Palembang in South Sumatra to discuss the youth employment, then to Lombok, West Nusa Tenggara, involving youth to discuss digital transformation. So the issues is discussed in this city. Next, I go to Balikpapan, it's Kalimantan,
Mm.
to discuss about sustainable and livable planet and see the example of what city has done. If you know, we want to build ibu kota negara
Yeah,
Oh
in
yeah,
Kalimantan.
Balikpapan, yes.
Kalimantan.
We want to make a sustainable city,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Lastly, to Manokwari, West Papua. I even go to the Papua to discuss issue of diversity and inclusion with Papuan youth.
It's
Yeah.
such a good thing that
Yeah.
Alif get to talk with youth all over Indonesia
Yeah.
because the youth here they need more
Motivation and
right?
like to give them that little push to like make a huge difference in this world in Indonesia, of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And after that, we call that Push Summit, and we have the summit, right? Finally, after each issue was discussed in this representative city with the youth, the summit was held in Jakarta and Bandung.
Mm.
Yeah. So the delegates from these 20 countries came back to Indonesia and take part of this conference. In Jakarta, the opening ceremony was held at the Parliament Building, Gedung DPR. It was attended by Miss Ratno Marsudi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. And then we have the welcoming dinner at Kempinski Hotel Indonesia with Governor of Jakarta, Mr. Anies Baswedan, and a talk show with the leaders in this country, which will take a very long time to mention one by one.
Yeah, there must be a lot
Yeah.
of them.
They are all national figures, right?
You get to meet like important and like
Yeah,
awesome people.
all in one night.
I know, it's so
Yeah.
cool.
After from the Jakarta, which we held in Jakarta and Bandung, the event continued to Bandung for a meeting session to discuss the final draft of diplomacy agreement. After the meeting, we had a dinner at Gedung Sate. You know Gedung Sate?
Oh,
Gedung
yeah, I
Sate.
know.
Ah.
And Bandung.
Gedung Sate is the office of the governor of West Java.
Oh.
And even we have the dinner with Kang Emil himself, the governor of the
Did
West
you
Java.
did you had sate for dinner?
We have a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
It is an exciting and fun experience, you know.
Mhm.
And
Must be.
yeah, and even the highlight of the event, the main event is called plenary meeting. Yeah, I'm touched because I can enter the Konferensi Asia Afrika building, if you know,
Oh,
Gedung Asia
that's
Afrika.
the historical building.
Yeah,
The
and-
one where they held the Asian African meeting
Yes.
long time
Oh,
ago.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I remember.
and I witnessed the diplomacy of the Y20 countries. At that time, this room was used for diplomacy, right? You know,
Yeah.
before it became a museum, you know. And that room, our first president, Mr. Sukarno, led the unity of Asia African countries, Konferensi Tingkat Tinggi Asia Afrika, if you know,
Yeah.
in 1955.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that they still use the room for conferences.
No.
Yeah, I thought that's just like a
it
past
used
thing.
for museum, but it is exception for the Y20 summit.
Oh,
that's really
so
cool.
Yeah.
like they specifically rented out the museum.
Yes,
Mm.
for this kind of diplomacy things,
Mm.
right?
That's amazing.
And today in 2022, I can witness the signing of the communique. So the communique is policy recommendation from that delegates made during the diplomacy, and will be given to head of respective countries, and we will give it to President Joko Widodo. And in this historic building, I witnessed it and become a part of history itself. You know.
Yeah, you're a part of history.
And I'm deeply
Being in
moved.
the
Okay,
room.
and experience that will never be repeated. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a once in a lifetime.
lifetime.
Exactly. Especially if it's because it's Indonesia
Yeah.
too, right? Like our home country.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
You get to represent your home country,
know,
and then
it's so cool.
you get to meet people from around the world, important people, and in a historical building. That's really
Like
Cool.
if you read a history book, like I'm on that history.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I'm in this history book. If that was me, I would also like cry.
Yeah, I would cry
Absolutely
as
happy
well.
tears.
Imagine being in a history book.
Like, would you cry as well? Like, okay. So about this whole Y20 experience,
Yeah.
how did you feel about it?
Yeah,
And did you get to
something new?
something new, something exciting? You know.
Actually, everything was new for me. I met a lot of people. I met a lot of important figures in this country. from minister, governor, mayors, and other important figures. Not just meeting, but I also interacting with them. This is an opportunity that I never thought that I could be a part of this thing. Like I'm only 20 years old, and all these things I never imagined before. Like I don't know if I could any do this. Gitu. So I really enjoyed it every moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember when Alif really wanted to go into the military, and then
Aw.
but destiny made itself clear. And like maybe God did something to it, and then
Yeah.
he put him into a business school, and then somehow
Yeah.
like he came across that Y20 offering, and like it just
Just
trust the
click.
process, you know?
Yeah.
Like you don't know that what's
Where
gonna
life
happen.
brings you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a very long
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
And that's a very inspiring thing to hear that
Mm.
you went from all that insecurities and being anxious, and then here you are meeting
Mm.
important figures from all
Yeah,
across
world
the
leaders.
country.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you were in various organizations, and like you're very active. You're a
Yeah.
very active person, student. So have you ever experienced burnouts? Because lots of us experience it. Sadly, it's something normal these days. And how do you usually deal with it?
Yeah. Okay. So other than Y20, I have a ton of work going on at one time.
Mhm.
He does.
Like student board as a chairman of social week and a business project in my final. I'm on the final year on my
Mhm.
campus, so I have like the script sitting,
Mhm.
Oh, you're
and I still have to do a lot of college assignment, right? And like another organization things. Of course, I have experienced burnout. I was overwhelmed, of course. So we must be smart to manage our time. You
Mm.
have to sacrifice your rest time, your play time. Yeah, that's
That's something hard to do.
yeah, but you need to sacrifice that. So my advice, if is the most important ability if you want to do what I did, the time management is skill that you must have. You know,
Mm.
also an adaptive character.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
really
nothing is
important.
certain in this world, and you must always be prepared for with all possibilities and all jobs you are facing now. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
So you were participating in what Y20, and also you get to be the chairman of the social week project
Yeah.
that in your campus, and we were wondering that since you also participated as several committees and and acted as like the
Yeah.
leader.
And then
Yeah.
you also have your schoolwork, your university.
Yeah.
How do you balance and keep track of all these work?
It was really overwhelmed from social week. Like we have a lot of things to do. So, but the responsibility as a leader is really heavy, right?
Yeah.
But of course, there's a strategy to face that thing. If you master them, it will help you to lead an organization. So, leading social week with dozens of programs that we have is not an easy to manage. But fortunately, I have really a great team. I have a great team.
Oh yeah, that's
So how do you do? How you do it? You have to arrange your task, build a system, so that it balance with your work. Don't do it all by yourself. Don't do any task yourself. You have your team, right? So
Mm.
any position in your organization have the function, right?
Mhm.
Then you have to be able to be assign your work with them, your team. That's what teams are for, backing each other up and achieve organization goals like that.
Oh, that's a very
Mm.
that's very eye opening.
So like a team is like a machine,
Yeah.
and like the people, the roles are like the cogs running inside the machine, so that if they each work all like
Together.
together and like based on their respective roles and what they're good at, they're gonna like be a really good machine.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
because sometimes we tend to forget that we have a team, and
Exactly.
we just
Yeah.
drive to work by ourselves. that can be very overwhelming.
Mm.
While in reality, we have people who can help us. So we have to use really good advantage of it.
Yeah.
So, Khalid, you're a very busy person. You participate in this organization and this event. So has your personal life ever affected your workflow? Has it ever delay you in your works or something like that?
Okay. Actually, with everything happened to me, of course, this is makes me a better person. Mentally stronger when I face a problem. So when I have a problem in social week and any other organization, I have that mental that I can do it. Because I have faced more bigger problem. And you must to understand which priority to work on.
Oh yeah, priorities.
And personally, there are lots of benefit for my personal development.
Yeah, organizational works really do help yourself in like maintaining yourself and
And also maybe benefits to your reputation.
speaking having series and all that.
Yeah. Speaking of reputation,
Yeah.
we all know that of course you're the leader, you're the big dog, and like you're the chairman of the social week of your campus Y20. These are like for us maybe like we're just high school students. We look at you with like, oh, that's really cool. So like with all these achievements, how would you stay humble? Maybe it's like when you have these big achievements and rewards to you, you could feel like kind of gloated and say, I did this. Like it's good to stay prideful, of course.
Being prideful for your own achievements help you in being confident for yourself. But still, how would you stay humble?
Maybe you're now a high school student, but maybe someday you will be another big dogs.
Yeah, I hope so.
I wish to be a big dog one day.
Yeah, amen to that. Okay, how would you stay humble, right? Yeah. So of course, your achievement, it will mean nothing. It doesn't. Your achievement will not mean anything if you feel high and superior than others people. Never be arrogant. It is useless. It is better to be someone who likes to help and liked by many people,
Oh yeah.
rather being hated for not being humble. Why? Now I'm lucky in this position, but maybe one day if I fall, who wants to help me if I'm arrogant?
I
Right.
understand.
You mentioned about having good teamwork and being humble is one of the good thing to have.
Yeah, to have, yeah. So like because like if you fall down, because one of the reasons that you are a leader is because of your people, and without your people you're just you with
Yeah.
no following, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And with all of these achievements and goals that you racked up yourself and these ambitions that you have raised, it's just really amazing that you have gone this far. And to see the people who stuck onto you and who supported you, because in the end your achievements are sometimes not because of your achievements alone, but also supported by
Other
others.
Yeah.
people behind
Yeah.
you help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing, right?
So like and with that I say thank you,
Yeah,
Alif.
thank you so much, Khalid.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes, in this podcast.
I'm really happy in this podcast.
Yeah, it's been a really fun talk. It's really interesting to hear about how you have all that experience being with many people from across the country and even being a part of history.
Exactly. It's really cool. Who lives, who dies, who tells your story.
Oh,
So,
that's
like-
a reference in it. So thank you, folks, for listening to our podcast.
Yeah. But before that, Khalif, do you have anything to say to our audience?
The audience.
I'm really glad that I'm on this Under the Radar podcast and can share my story to you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm really happy.
Alright. Folks, that's it for Under the Radar. Thank you so much. Yeah, for listening.
to our podcast.
1, 2, 3. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.